Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at BrickFair Virginia, and we've got an Imperial Communications-based Star Wars build here. So we've got a couple of different builders that will be taking us through their sections of this build. So the first one, if you want to introduce yourself, we'll take a look at what you did here.
So my name is Tesone. I built this with Daniel Ross, and my section here is at the front. It's the mountain with the bunker, the lava, and just the viewport. I built this all in about 2 weeks, which was probably not the best idea, but that's just how it came together. I do have some lights underneath the lava and all throughout the build, which I'm really happy with how they came out. The main, I guess, terrain colors are dark orange and medium flesh, which can be pretty expensive, but I like how it came out. It's a nice color combo. And yeah, the mountain is dark gray, nice contrast with the gray of the base.
Right, and so that looks fantastic. I love the transition from like the red with the lights to that gray there. Talk about kind of how you were incorporated all those different parts so that, you know, such a seamless transition.
So all of the lava is actually built on its side with translucent bricks. So I built a stream coming up here and met it with some light bluish gray panels, and it actually creates a really nice look. And then obviously the mountain just kind of goes all around it and meets up really nicely.
Then for a structure like the bunker there, is that built into the mountain, or is that kind of completely separate and the mountain's just kind of around it?
So I built the bunker on its own, and I built the mountain around it. I did later build the mountain like on top of it, so it is technically integrated, but I did build the bunker first, so I guess technically not.
And then subtle details like these grill pieces here that are kind of at an angle just add some nice kind of detail to the build.
Yeah. That was really annoying to build, but I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, I think it adds some great detail to it. And then are there minifigures up in that viewing area?
Yeah, there's one little officer. He's kind of just walking through. It can be a little hard to see, but he's in there.
So then what do we have at the top of the build?
So the top, this is a nice little technique that Daniel came up with for the little teeth. But it's basically just a big landing platform, and we got some troops kind of lining up, showing off the Imperial might. We got some, rebels sneaking around, gonna do a nice little ambush, and some crates and stuff just to add life to the mock.
That's great. So then we'll take a look at the other section here with Daniel's part.
Yeah, so I built this the satellite in the hangar in this back section right here. And this satellite is one of the first things I worked on. I went through many iterations of just making different circles, trying to figure out what works. But eventually I came up with a way of just attaching a bunch of clips in like a circle and putting the panels on. And once it's all together, it looks pretty clean. And as you work your way up to the top, the dish was definitely a little bit rushed because I built the majority of my section pretty much within the past 10 days. And this dish was built the night before at like 2 a.m. So
there's a recurring theme of kind of last-minute builds here.
Yeah, if you look in the middle here, when we arrived, it wasn't done. We did most of this on site, but originally we wanted to have an opening for this hangar down here, but we decided just to cover it up so we could have some of the guys right there standing out there. And then if you move over here to where the hangar is, on the side I used a couple bucket handles to get some nice texture, and on the inside I have a snot roof to try and reflect the light a little bit, and we have the trans blue. And I really like the blue for the light. Normally I would have done yellow, but we had been doing blue for the bunker in the hallway up there, so I wanted to have some sort of consistency. And then if you work your way around back, there's nothing much really, but we wanted to keep it clean. We didn't want to have any exposed filler or anything. But I'll let my friend talk about his section right here under, because he built this hangar all here.
So this came together at the last minute. We built all of this at the convention. Originally, we wanted to have the top section open and it would just kind of look through the bottom. But we didn't have enough parts, so this is what we came up with. I got some lights going all through there, so I like how it came out. Yeah, I mean, for what we did at the convention, I think it turned out pretty good.
Sometimes the convention building is some of your best work.
It is, surprisingly, but...
So I know you guys said a lot of this was pretty rushed, but what was the general sort of planning process like for the build and how you kind of broke it up?
So pretty much the plan was exactly what we have here, except instead of it being this little hangar at the side, it was just going to be on the top. So we did pretty much exactly what we wanted. I guess we kind of started with figuring out the base, and we found some concept art for the main, I I guess, yeah, base for it that we went off. That's what these little teeth sections are from. And then I decided we wanted to have like a mountain to add height to it, some lava to add some lights and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, we kind of just banged it out in 2.5 weeks, and I actually really like how it came out. So,
is it difficult to incorporate lights in a build like this? Is that kind of an added, extra hassle as you're putting the build together?
It can be, but for me, we just bought little light kits off Amazon for $10, and then you kind of just like string it through however you want it. Pretty much the only thing you have to watch out for is if you want plates to separate. Obviously, you can't have the lights going into more than one plate. So we do have, I think, 4 separate strings. There's one for these lights here, one for inside the bunker, and there's 2 actually for that little hangar down there. And then Daniel has one, I think, for his little hangar up top. So there's a lot of different things, but I mean, you can kind of figure it out. It's pretty easy. There's no soldering or anything like that, so.
And then you've got some great variety of minifigures here, so take us through some of those different minifigures that you were able to include in the build.
So most of the minifigures actually came from Daniel. We got, obviously, the stormtroopers here, led by some shock troopers in the front. And then we have a colonel and some dark tan officers followed by, I guess, some just normal officers and technicians. And then inside the hangars, we do have scouts with their speeder bikes. And then at the bottom, there's like an officer talking to them. But around the build, we kind of have rebels sneaking around, plotting an ambush. I mean, we could have done a battle scene, but I feel like those can be a little tacky. So something like this is a little bit interesting, I think. So yeah. we went with that.
Great. Well, good work, guys. Thank you both for bringing this out to the show here. Glad it came together, even if it was last minute.
Thank you for having us.